Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Cassiejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Hey, welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. I'm Nick Adams.
I'm Anna. Amy Nichols.
And I'm Lacey G.
And today we're going to be breaking down Taylor Swift's song Untouchable.
Like a million little stars spelling out your name. You gotta come on. Say that we'll
So, as Swifties, we think we know everything about Taylor, but we're constantly finding out new things.
Mm-hmm.
Until this week, did anybody here know that this is a cover song?
I had no idea.
Me neither.
No clue. What is that about? I guess that means Taylor just did it better than who she was covering.
Yes.
Well, I've also personally never heard of the original band, Luna Halo.
Okay, that's right. So, Untouchable, if you're unfamiliar, it's a song that was put on Taylor's Platinum edition of Fearless, and people loved it, and then people found out that it was a cover. So, Luna Halo, like Anna said, is the original band to sing the song, and here's their version. So I can hear it now, but obviously they're super rock and stuff like that, and it's just such an odd thing that she would pick that song.
I'm not going to lie. Unpopular opinion. I've never heard this song, so I'm not familiar with that band, but I kind of like that song, though.
The original version or the Taylor's version?
The original version.
Yeah,
Not better than Taylor. I do like Taylor's more, but I like that vibe of that song.
And I kind of, when I hear it, I think that they're covering Taylor Swift. So I think that sounds great. Wow, a rock band covered Taylor.
I really want Taylor to do that style though. That version.
That'd be fun.
Because she did a rock version of We Are Never Getting Back Together, and she's done different genre versions of her own song. I want to hear her do this version. I want this rock. I'm still waiting for this rock album, Taylor. We've done 3 other genres, might as well.
Yeah, and on tour and stuff, she'll take her songs and she'll do them in a rock vibe or switch it up. She's done that before. Maybe she could do this on her. Well, we're hoping she's going to announce some sort of tour sometime soon.
And the people, we all found out that this was a cover because of this podcast and the research that we're doing. But if I didn't know this and I went to her concert and she did this rock version of that, I'd be like, whoa, she's so edgy, so smart. Queen.
Wow. How did she think of that?
Well, we're not the only ones who didn't know that it was a cover, because people on Reddit were losing their minds, and they are saying that they just now found out too. And then the other band, Luna Halo, is getting a lot of hits now because people are finding out that it was a cover and going back. So then that's cool. They're kind of getting the trickle-down effect from her re-recording this as well.
Thank you, Taylor.
So I found an article from thetennessean.com. Did any of you guys come across this? It's an interview with the band.
Oh, cool.
What's their name? Luna Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And so they talked about how this came to be. Why did Taylor pick that song to cover? Because Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong, are there other covers that she's ever put on an album? I was trying to look and I couldn't. None came to my mind.
On and out. I mean, on her Spotify, she has the September cover,
Sure,
but not
but
physically on an album.
And so they asked Luna Halo how this came to be, and they said it happened when Scott Borchetta, who's president of her label, gave her our CD to listen to. Then she was doing a TV show called Stripped. He told her she had to come up with a cover. She could have chosen any cover in the world, but that's what she chose. And we heard from other people that she was a fan of ours, so I think it was a combination of those things. We lucked out, really. She covered the song, and it sounded amazing, so from there were so many YouTube hits on it and so many other people watching it and doing their imitations of it, that's when the label decided to put it on the record.
Great timing.
Yeah, pretty cool. And hey, as much as we don't like Scott Borchetta, he has made good business moves in the past, and he signed Taylor. That was good. And then he said, hey, put this on your album. Cool. It worked.
It's always fun to listen to a good cover, though.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel slight embarrassment for artists that cover a song and do it better than the original.
Sure.
And I don't have any examples that I've pulled,
Well-
but I've argued with people about this before, that this is your song and somebody just did it better than you.
You know, what might be people could consider, hey, I don't know, one of the top 20 best songs of all time, I Will Always Love You. That was not a Whitney Houston song. She covered that. That was a
What?
Dolly Parton song.
What? I'm
Yeah.
sorry?
It was a country Dolly Parton song, and
Oh my
Whitney Houston
God.
covered it and made it this enormous, giant song. And so, and I think it was a popular song for Dolly back in the day. Then Whitney did it, made it huge again. Yeah. So
An interesting cover I came across recently. This is top of mind and totally out of left field. The band Tame Impala, they have a song called Elephant, and it was covered by The Wiggles.
Oh my goodness! Stop.
And honestly, it's like pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
So the Wiggles covered
Tame Impala. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
I don't know why. But it's great. Kind of like go look it up.
Lacey might disagree with me, but I think when Johnny Cash covered "Hurt" by 9 Inch Nails, that
That's a
is
good
so haunting.
Yeah.
I just loved that.
I agree. I
Okay,
completely
really?
agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good.
It added a giant layer to it because he was old
Yeah.
when he put that out. And
I mean,
so
I
it
think
was like,
it was in his last days.
I think it was like one of his last songs. And it was a
Yeah.
cover, and it was really great.
Yeah.
So no one knew that this song was a cover until recently. And there's one song that still haunts me to this day that I didn't know was a cover. I want to see if y'all can guess who this is.
The original or the cover artist?
It starts with a cover and ends with the original.
Okay, cool.
Build my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older.
Anna Only, who was that?
Uh-oh.
Either of them, Anna. Who was it?
Can I say a couple of names? I
Just start throwing names out there.
Was that like Faith Hill or Sheryl Crow or one of those gals?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, Nick, do you know who the first band was?
I believe it was Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes. Okay, so that was Smashing Pumpkins doing Landslide. Landslide is a song by Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks was the next one I was gonna say.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
But recently, I just discovered this song by Fleetwood Mac. I mean, it's been since I've lived in my house, and I've been in my house for the last 8 years. But I was listening one day to the radio, and I was like, who is this beautiful song? Who's this beautiful person covering this song? Yeah, that was the day that I realized that that was the Smashing Pumpkins cover.
I would have
Oh, funny.
guessed wrong. I thought it was originally the Dixies. Or I'm sorry, the Chicks. I was going to stop not say the Dixies, and I said the word that I wasn't wanting to say. Did they not cover this? Did I just totally
I'm
guess
sure-
wrong?
I think they have. I think
Okay,
they have, yeah.
okay. The Chicks. That's what I meant.
Oh, I only know them from Taylor's Lover album.
So, more about Untouchable. Does anybody know what this song's about? Fill me in. What is Taylor / Luna Halo singing about?
Well, the hidden message, which I think is cool that she still included a hidden message in her little booklet, even though this was a cover. And maybe that's why I never knew it was a cover. But the hidden message says, we always want what we can't reach. So is that what it's about?
I think she's singing about wanting something you can't reach. It's untouchable. So it could be a person that you've liked for a long time, but they don't like you back. It could be
Yeah.
a relationship that ended. It could be they don't live near you. It could be anything that you want, you just can't have.
Yeah. Could be something. The pain that you feel whenever you know you can't have it. Who knows?
Or the band member who had to leave.
What?
Oh.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm just guessing.
Her friend, like her
Emily?
Yes.
It was like her
Yes.
guitar
Yes.
Emily?
violinist, guitarist,
Yeah. Not the cello. What's the little fiddle? Fiddle.
fiddle.
Yes.
Right?
I think. I learned that from you, Amy. That's why I'm looking at you.
Well, when I read this at first, I didn't. Before I knew it was a cover, I was rereading the lyrics, and I was like, "There's no pronouns in this." I was like, "Is this like the early Taylor referencing she might be interested in something other than boys?"
Oh, interesting.
But since it was written by someone else, then
Then you're like,
I think
"Oh."
that. And then I looked at their lyrics, and they don't have like her or anything in their lyrics.
Another
so.
day, another theory out the window.
Mhm. She did change a few words. So at the beginning of the second verse, she changed the words "it's hurtful" to "it's half full." So there you go. She changed it a little
She's
bit.
a genius. She's a songwriting genius.
Wow. But yeah, it is also one of the rare times when you look at Taylor's songs and you see who they're written by, and it's more than just Taylor and one or two other people, because the people from the original band are credited as songwriters on this too. So while researching this, I was looking up different live performances of Untouchable and stuff, and she performed this on SNL, and I was like,
She
oh, cool.
did?
She performed this song on SNL when she hosted / was the musical guest. She did double duty, and this was in November of 2009, so it was like right around the time when the Fearless Platinum edition was being released. And she also performed You Belong With Me on the show. And so then that got me wanting to watch her monologue. And skits like that.
I was going to ask if you had it.
So I do. I have two clips from her monologue. And she gets up there and she's just singing a kind of a ditzy sounding song for her monologue.
Monologue song.
A monologue song. And so in part of the monologue, she actually talked about her dating life. Now, who was she dating right around this time? Who's some of these
Taylor?
songs about? Who?
Joe?
Joe.
Oh.
So Joe
Jonas.
and Taylor come up in this clip.
You might think I'd bring up Joe, that guy who broke up with me on the phone, but I'm not gonna mention him. In my monologue, hey Joe, I'm doing real well. Tonight I'm hosting SNL. Brag about that. In my monologue, la la la, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, la la la. And if you're wondering if I might be dating the werewolf from Twilight.
She said, hi, Taylor.
I'm not gonna comment on that. In my monologue.
And that was also, I didn't pull the clip, but that was also when she said the word douchebag.
In the monologue
In
song?
the monologue. She says something about, like, I write songs about douchebags and put their names in songs or something. Wow. Very vulgar
That was
for Taylor.
edgy for then. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then she got into the controversy that had happened not too long before this SNL appearance.
You might be expecting me to say something bad about Kanye and how he ran up on the stage and ruined my VMA monologue. But there's nothing more to say, 'cause everything's okay. I've got security lining the stage.
And so then that got me looking at Taylor's other appearances on SNL. So she never hosted again. I think she may have like popped up in a skit here or there when she's been the musical guest. But she was back on in 2017. So she went from 2009 to 2017, a pretty big break there from SNL. And that was when Tiffany Haddish hosted. She performed Ready for It and Call It What You Want. And for some reason, unless I was searching wrong, her performance for Ready for It is not on YouTube or anything like that. Like it wasn't on the SNL, it wasn't on her page. So maybe she like didn't like it, how it turned out or something. I don't know.
Or I wonder if it like for some reason got flagged and then they just never
all
fixed
of
it.
her other things are up there. So it's just it's weird that that's not up there. So I don't know. I need to figure that out. And then in 2019 was the last time she was on it. She was the musical guest when Phoebe Waller-Bridge hosted, and she performed Lover and False God.
I remember that performance, and I mean, how do I say this? It's not that I don't like False God. I do like it, but I didn't start appreciating it until I saw her perform it on SNL.
Yes.
And then I was like, wait a second, this is a good song. And
for sure.
you always think like when, people are going to perform on SNL, you think they're going to do like their hits that everybody recognizes. But the fact that she did False God, like that was, I felt like that was so random, but I loved it.
Well, and even she did Call It What You Want the
Yeah.
time before that. That was kind of a random one to pick off of Reputation.
I guess so is Untouchable
Yeah, it's. I guess maybe she was doing that to promote the new
album.
Fearless album, I guess. I don't know. So look at that. We learned a little bit something today. Taylor covered someone. and in true Taylor fashion, made it bigger than the original band.
And that was fun listening to SNL too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Although I wanted you to play "Call It What You Want To" because I did love that performance. But it's okay. I'm not placing
maybe-
the blame. You did really good work today, Nick.
Maybe once we get to that song, whenever we decide to start breaking down Reputation, we can play it then.
Okay.
Hey, well, just to end it, if you could have Taylor Swift cover any song right now, What song would you want her to
It
cover?
has to be something by Olivia Rodrigo.
I was going to say, good for you.
We just did a ginormous breakdown of the Olivia Rodrigo and her relationship with Taylor. So if you missed it, go listen to the podcast right before this.
I guess, and on that episode, you said you want to hear Taylor cover Traitor.
I would love to hear her do Traitor. And
good for you. Would be bad at.
Would I want her to cover One Step Forward, Three Steps Back? Because it's a song based on her song, but with different lyrics. Would I want to hear that? Yes, I would.
I'd want to hear some rock Taylor. You're right. After listening to Luna Halo, that has me wanting some rock Taylor as well.
I need more preparation. I need more time.
This is a loaded question. This is a loaded question.
Well, that does it for this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift podcast. Be sure to subscribe to us on all platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to us. Be sure to subscribe, and you can leave us a nice review.
Kind of like this one that just says, my new favorite podcast. Love learning all the little Rid Huts that I've missed over the years. Great podcast, Taylor's version. My only complaint is that they aren't long enough.
Don't worry, we'll have a long one for you coming up in 2 episodes when we do Taylor's underrated songs. But on the next podcast, we're going to break down Come In With the Rain.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.